Hey, this is Blind Fox and welcome at my Gunsmith Simulator playthrough. So the guns we have currently here is the Desert Eagle, the VIS. So what we want to check today is, let's see if we do the Colt. A Colt Peacemaker. We'll start with the it's not the frame, it is the... We'll start with the receiver. So we'll buy that. We might not complete what we think we are going to do, but we'll start with the receiver. And we'll buy that because we cannot make this. I don't even know if we have this, but we'll buy that as well. Why is there 3 of these? I don't want 3 of these. We want that. Okay, so that we bought. Might have gone had a pro thing. So we bought 2 of things. Now we can do this. Now we've got it. Where did it go to? Where did it go? Because here it's not. But we can go to new gun apparently. And here is a thing we can do. So you can start a new gun. Look at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 new guns. So we can start a new gun here. We've got the Peacemaker. So here we can get the classic and then we get the antique. So you can't create antiques. And this is still the same formulation. The one is just... So here we can see we accidentally bought 2 of these. I think we already had one of those. I don't know. I think we did. Don't really know. So we can add that. Now we will go and have to go and get all of the rest of the parts. So we can discard the gun, but if you don't want to build it anymore, you can do a configuration, which we can't do with this one because that is what it is. 2 good parts, all of the rest is missing. Store in safe. So now we have to go and hunt for these parts. So it makes a nice good assembly job. So you see, it's large. But we don't want to do that, no. And here's the problem, if you exit that. Now if we exit that, we've got a problem because you cannot do that. We can't enter the machine again to actually make a difference. Not that I can see. So if you select a thing and click start accidentally, you are stuck with it. So basically here we go. We basically have can basically go through this, I think, and just buy the stuff we don't have. So this we have to buy. That we need to buy. And all of this stuff that doesn't have stuff there, we have to buy. Anyway, we'll go and do that later. First we'll need to work here. And as I said, I made a mistake, so we'll get into this another time. We want to buy and actually get the large. That's what I wanted to do. I wanted to change the block size. So you can see there is quite a bit of parts, because this gun does have a few parts that we need to make. So let's actually go and see how much of this stuff we can make here with this one. This is the medium one. I think it's $20 or $50. I think this one might be able to fit somewhere else. Let's see if we can nope. See if we can haha. This one. Actually, if we can create the receiver as well. It's funny that the receiver was not fully done there. So these are the parts we cannot make on this machine, which is quite a lot of parts. But we have done quite a nice lot. We might just pop in a few more. No, why doesn't? There we go. That is better. There we go. We could most likely put more in there, but we're just gonna do it like that. We are creating our own Colt from scratch. Funny that we didn't see that we could create the frame in this machine. So next time we know, we go to the table first, then we do create gun, and it will show us which guns we can create, and it will give us a list. You don't really start buying stuff. But interesting. So I'm not sure which guns you can create. I said there's only 11. I think you have to be maybe fully research the gun before you can create it. Now this is like a very expensive way to get the gun, since you create it from scratch and you have to buy all of the parts. It's much less expensive if you buy the gun on the auction and then retrofit the gun. But if you really want one of the 11 guns, you can start from scratch and say that you did do it from scratch. That's what you can do. Let's see, how much do I don't think I will have enough to actually complete this gun. Interesting. I know we've got this, and I know they may. Oh, they. But it doesn't. Oh, there we go. You can see I missed that bit because it's so into the gun receiver that. Now let's just pay for this stuff first, because there is a lot of parts and I do get confused between all of them. Bye. Yes. Let's go and run and just collect you lot. That you can learn language in my language over there. Alright. Now we've got a smaller little list. And we can actually hunt for them. that. We've got left grip, right grip, and hammer. We have hammer roll. Yep, that we need. These two we don't, because we are going to get ourselves a nice little handle. So this is the gun that we created from scratch. Oh, we are supposed to be able to do that. Why doesn't it want us to? Because we are supposed to be able to buy those two guns of pieces. We're supposed to be able to create them. But it doesn't want us to do so. You see, that is what is interesting. It doesn't allow us to actually create a new piece for the gun. Interesting. So we have to actually buy them. I'll go and dump you in first. Haven't finished this yet. Now how are we going to be able to... I think maybe configuration. I think that's the problem. We need to go into the configuration. Because I think it's set at factory at the moment, and that we cannot create in our little wood shop, so that's the problem. There we go, we haven't done these on a little swim. Those we did, so we need to go in here. Configuration. Why isn't there... Why isn't there a place where I can select the handle? That is interesting, because I want to create a custom handle for this thing. And it still doesn't want me to do... that. Which is interesting. I wonder why it doesn't. So it means that I will actually have to go and buy then the grip. And I really wanted to create my own little grip. Now that is interesting, really interesting. Because here I want to create my own grip. Can I do it? There is no way I can actually do that. Because I know you can change your grip if you buy the gun from the auction. Then why doesn't it want me to? And you can create a grip for the gun. Otherwise, got two ejectors because I most likely had that one from some other gun bought before. Now that is still interesting. So it doesn't want me to come here and create my own one for this. So I have to do the grip thing. Oh, it's interesting why I can't create the grip for this one. And I'm sure I saw it somewhere that you could. Yeah. It's one of the things I really want to do. Is really to do that. Now the configuration's still can't do it. And again, we did assemble this gun before. I would have wanted to do some nice woodwork on this one. Come on. There we go. And then we can go for quick assemble. And store in safe. Now if we go to configuration, what does it do? The configuration, still we cannot change this thing's handle. Store in safe, yes, I do want to do that. So he can come in here again, make new gun, and the only gun we can create here is called Peacemaker. All of the other guns see require master. So we do have to do the master thing. So we can create the car 98, so the carabiner 98. Rasaka we can create. If we have done this, the Uzi is one of these we can create. Called Peacemaker that we just created. Glock 17. So I'm not sure if it's cheaper to make the gun from scratch or to actually buy the thing from the Mozambique gun we can create. QBZ 97 we can create. Stug 44 we can create. Colt 1911 we can create. If we've got master there, which we don't have. M4 carbine and Thompson submachine gun. So here's 11 guns that we can create from scratch. All the other guns you need to buy from here if you want to actually create them yourself. And furthermore, there we go. not just grandfather that said nothing to us. Did we actually make any progress? We did make a little bit of progress. So interesting stuff that you can do here. So now we will just do this. Again, I've shown you this. There's no new guns, as I say, that I could find. This is still just, we only have one for this. We're just removing the stuff that we absolutely have to. There we go. So this is the Polish gun, and you can see some of these parts. This one looks very similar to one that the Browning not the Browning, sorry, the Colt 1911 has, aka designed by Browning. We've got our typical slide here. Again, not the same exactly as the Colt, but we do have again the same idea. We've got our barrel. We've got our recoil spring underneath the barrel as a lot of as the model 1911. So not the same, but a lot of handguns does sort of clumsily borrow from Browning. So recoil. Lots of missing, broken, dirty, rusty. It's interesting to see how much guns really borrow from Browning, although everybody of the newer handguns, pistols, does borrow from Browning some. The Eagle one is nice because it's a totally different one. And there's a few ones of those that's the same. We'll see the Eagle in a minute. But this VIS again is one of the guns that borrows heavily from Browning's design. It was really a revolutionary gun design when he started. He actually started with rifles, if I can't remember. Yes, he did do some of his own rifles. Then he designed for Winchester some. I think he was married to one of the sister of the managing director, one of the, yes, exactly. But he was married, I think, the sister to one of the, either the managing director or one of the managing directors of Winchester. So he had a hand in a lot of the Winchester firearms. He never actually made guns under his own name. He always made guns for someone else. As in, he made guns for FN. The Browning models that just has Browning as its name is a later edition, a US thing. So he made guns for, or he made rifles for Winchester. Then they got a bit, there was some friction between him and Winchester. He actually created the automatic shotgun, by the way. I think he was one of the first people to create the automatic shotgun, but there wasn't a market for it then. Winchester didn't want it, and I'm not sure if it ever saw production or not. I just heard about it. As I say, I'm not a gun specialist. I just like to hear some histories about stuff. So then he took his pistol stuff to Fabrique Nationale, just in, I think, in 1899 or 98. Then the first I wonder if, let's see, we'll go and check it out now. So he created this firearm, a pistol, really revolutionized it. So I need to concentrate when I type. That's the whole reading thing. So he created this gun with the spring above the barrel. Most other later models, it was around the barrel, but the first one, the spring was above the barrel, the recoil spring. Almost the same type of arrangement that this gun have, except this gun has it below the barrel. So you've got a double recoil spring. The Colt also have it below the barrel, but that specific Browning had it above the barrel. Or the first FN Browning. Then there was a few, I don't know how many made. I think it was due to the 1899 model. Then when there was some made, then the Belgian military. So, oh, nice gun. I mean, it was a .32, I think. Yeah, it was a .32. They didn't want a big gun because they want a small gun, lightweight, for their officers. Wars in Europe, you didn't fire over that big a distance. Browning wanted a small compact gun. In any case, so you had that one. So they made some changes to it to get the 1900 model for the military, and then they did some more changes to get. It's also sold as the 1900 model, but it's more the civilian one. It's also colloquially known as the 1902 model. And then, anyway, so he was designing guns for FN. Then Colt, he designed some patterns for Colt, also got interested. And he did some more guns. I think the then it was basically, these were known as pocket pistols. They were so small. Then he made an even smaller one. I think it's a 1903 or 05. I can't remember which one, the best pocket. And then he did another one for the military, which was a larger caliber again. I think .45 or I think that was the 1905. But anyway, they were small developments, and then the next big one was the 1910, which all of these came out before the first Colt pistol came out. And I think that first Colt, I'm not sure, the 1908, I think there was a 1908 Colt, and I'm not sure if that was a Browning too. And I somewhere have a list of it, but this is also something that looks familiar from some of the others. I said this is familiar, looks very familiar from the, it's not the same, exactly the same shape and exactly the same fittings, but I mean it looks similar. Don't think those look similar to the Colt in this game. I think this one has got a lot more parts than the Colt does. I'm not sure when this one was designed, which year, but you can see the similarity. Here the barrel comes in. We got the loose barrel like the Browning does, but like not the same. Oh, sorry, the Colt does, and some of the other Brownings as well does have the loose barrel. It's also one of the things he did. Most of his guns has got loose barrels. It's literally, you don't screw in the barrel, you just fit it. It literally just clipped in. Oh, there we got our spring. So this is basically one where most of your recoil system in the Colt was inside, already on the gun. The slide is loose. So very different, but also very similar guns. Here this also looks different. Interesting that these little parts are in the inventory bit, since a lot of little parts like that isn't in the inventory bit of the other guns. Still a lot. I mean, the whole pistol form, the new pistol form that you get, is Browning. This looks the same as, if you go and look at a lot of Brownings, looks the same as that. I think the Walter PPK, there is some, if I can remember, I think it's the Walter. And I thought there was a Walter in this game. I haven't seen it, but I really thought there was one. Anyway, I think there is some, or was some ambiguity between oh, come on. Between Browning and Walter PPK guys around who actually designed the gun. go. Interesting safety, that. Now what did I do wrong? Safety. Oh, come on. Then I get lost. There we go. And we could go into the gun range. I'm not really thinking about doing so. Good, we flipped over there. We did some more stuff there. How nice. Luger, I really thought that we did have the Walter here. But anyway, there is a confusion between, or a claims word at the time between Walter, the guy who designed the Walter, is it PK, and Browning, between who actually invented what, and how and where. We'll do the rust thing first. I don't know if we're gonna do all of the... How many of the pistols do we have here? We got the Makarov... Hey, let's get all of these pistols. And we'll go through... Because there's 4 pistols... Well, we're just not gonna have the Browning, but... We've got the Desert Eagle. We've got the Luger. We've got the Makarov. And we'll see how these looks. We might even get the... So let's check out the desert. Which one is this? Is it the Desert Eagle, the Makarov? Ah, this is the wrong one. This is the Derringer. I didn't want to do the Derringer now. I thought we had the Desert Eagle, but we did have the Derringer. Now if you have got this, you can't really return it to the shelf. So if you pick one up, you have to deconstruct it. So this is another pistol. Before we had Browning's wonderful patent. The other one we've got in game is the Mauser, also a different one again. These were muzzleloaders, single shot. Or actually double shot for that matter. But this is basically the pocket pistol before the pocket pistol was invented. These were small pistols, double barreled, very famously carried in a lot of pockets. If you watch the Western movie and you have some of these car dudes, I mean the gambler guys with the snazzy suits, and the ladies of the professional ladies, and some of your ranch ladies as well, your ranchers' wives, your ranchers' daughters. Mostly they, sometimes the daughters sort of, a lot of times have these big guns as well, but your more ladylike people and the more your gamblers and such, they always seems to have one of these in their pocket. So this was the pocket pistol before the pocket pistol. They say 1911 is a bit large, because that was designed for the US military. or to be potentially used by the US military. So they wanted big calibers. Europe didn't want that big calibers or calibers all of them. They were a bit, that's why Browning got these mostly in 3.2. The early ones. Yeah, I'm a Browning fan. He revolutionized such a lot of things that basically every modern pistol owes some parts of its design to Browning. He was apparently able to see 3D design, how things will fit into each other, before you had any design software. So he could do 3D design in his head, which frankly is relatively astonishing. I mean, to be able to, many people can do design and such in the head, but to actually be able to see the relationship between the parts is a very rare talent, and he was one of the people that did it very, very well. As I found, some of his designs were a bit before their time. I mean, today everybody wants a automatic shotgun or a semi-automatic one. I can't remember if his was automatic or not, or semi-automatic, but still it was. It could almost been an automatic shotgun, I'm not sure, but I mean the gun was so much before its time that there wasn't a market for it. Now people want it because you do those target shooting and fast this and fast that, and not just go and hunt for the little pheasants and grouse and partridges and whatever you want to do with a shotgun. Shoot snakes in Australia, whatever you would like. So this is the only, if I can remember correctly, this is the only cap lock pistol we have in the game. All of the others are flintlock. That's something I would have liked for the Colts, if they could have had the original cap lock version of a Colt as well, the revolvers. Because we start with the Peacemaker, which is, or in this one actually is does have used cartridges, whereas I know in the military they had cap locks. The original, I think, military, some of the military ones that they used in the Civil War era still was cap lock Colts, and then they changed over from cap lock to normal cartridges. And I think the guns were just modified. I don't think they were actually new guns, they just modified the hammer and the chamber. The gun was easily enough modified. Then you pop your cap on there, ram your, well, you first load your pistol. Here we go. We load our pistol, park our cap, pull it back to full cock, bang. So let's go and put you in and see which other pistols we got. I'm not gonna do any other of these. I thought it was the desert. I didn't read it properly. No, no, no. So there we go. We've got those. So now we're going to see how. What's the time now? Oh well, still a nice episode. So we did the VIS earlier and see how that had some parts shaped Colt 1911 shaped. Now we're going to do the Soviets. And we've got a gun that's already disassembled. These boxes, these little guns that this isn't assembled yet. So let's see, we've got our spring here. Got our magazine. Here we've got a barrel fixed to the frame. Doesn't have the loose barrel like the Browning. Not at all the same. A lot less parts to this. Or we can go create some parts. And here we have a variation of our Browning. Very much, although the spring is there, I think the spring goes around the barrel as well. Our barrel is fixed to the frame. Now did I use the actual correct one here? Yes, I did choose the actual correct one. These parts are just so small. The reason I chose this whole thing is you pay, I think, $5 for these parts. Oh, we did do that one yet. Add some more little parts. Now this gun again, Russian simplicity in weapons. So Russian guns have to be a bit more robust because of their manufacturing stuff. It's a bit not as precise as some of the other gun manufacturers stuff, but their guns work. I mean, you can drive over some of this stuff. This stuff was used extensively in the war, Second World War afterwards, by half the part of the world that didn't use FN or Mauser. I mean, what Mauser was to guns before the war, or before World War II, when such a lot of guns got before the whole German gun industry was dismantled. The Russians basically took over after World War II. Not as a gun manufacturer as such. I mean, Mauser wasn't part of the German state, which I think Russian companies were. But as Mauser was basically the gun of all the countries before World War II, from 1871, when the first Mauser was created, the Russian guns sort of took over, which the AK-47 was, basically after World War II, when you have the battle between the First and the Second World. Nowadays we only hear about the First and the Third World, but you had the First World, which was the Western countries, the Second World, that was the Soviet countries, or the countries on the Soviet swing, and then you had the Third World, that was basically the battleground of both of the First and the Second World. In other words, all developing countries, which is an excellent way of having your battleground, a place for you to put down all of your manufacturers, and that led to the AK-47 being the gun of the revolutionaries. I mean, it was a Russian manufacture, it was robust, they had to manufacture it with stronger parts. Some of the manufacturing stuff wasn't as good, but I mean, the guns is robust. Russian guns, very robust. You can drown some of this stuff, you can bury them in mud, you can drive over them, and it still works. We don't have an AK-47 in this one, but I mean, I saw a video somewhere once where they had a gun, AK-47. They drowned the thing, they drove over the thing, they rusted the thing. They did everything you shouldn't do with your favorite firearm, and it still works. And I presume this as well. It doesn't have that many parts as the other guns. It's a bit more. Come on. H-A-N. Why doesn't you want to do? I'll see what that problem is. Handle. Why doesn't handle want to come out? Huh. Hammer, hammer. Oh, maybe because I don't have the correct gun selected. There we go, Makarov. There's handle. This gun really shows the. If you think about what we had in the VIS, now we didn't unscrew all of this gun's parts, but you can see there isn't place for a barrel here. You do not have a loose barrel. So, very compact guns, very little parts. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. A large magazine part. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Maybe 12 parts. So not an overabundance of parts, but it's simple, easy to clean, easy to maintain. If you've got enough problems with your barrel, you have to replace your whole frame, but you don't have to have all the special locks, little locks that Browning put in his pistols. And talk about little special locks, Mauser designed some of the safest firearms you got. I mean, there was locks and little protrusions just to, even in his earlier guns, especially in the Gewehr 98, I think. There was little surfaces, catch surfaces, um, just to keep um, the breech closed for if your ammunition fail. I mean, he planned ahead, and that's why his guns were A, so popular, B, everybody wanted them, they were accurate. He wasn't government owned like Enfield, so he could sell. I think Enfield, I don't know how much Enfield actually sold outside, and the Americans, I'm not sure, but Germany definitely, Mauser, they made it at the state-owned labs, or factories. They made it at the Mauser's factories, and at its peak, they really did a lot of production there. And everybody, before you got the AK-47 that became the gun of all revolutionaries, it was basically almost Mauser. Because it ends up being the guns of a lot of small governments as well, larger governments. Half of South America, if not all of South America, was run by Mauser. A big chunk of Europe had Mausers. Africa in the First Boer War, they had Mausers, although they also had Martinis, but they did have some Mausers at least. The South African War, also known as the Anglo-Boer War, was much more. This is one of the most detailed inside cases. Was also Mausers. It was the I think the Spanish Mauser they adapted for that. So well, here's Desert Eagle. The Desert Eagle we did, I think, a week or so before. That's got a very interesting system as well. Do we want to do which other ones we have? We've got the Luger. Desert Eagle has got a double system. This episode is actually already too long. But this one, again, I think a bit different. Let's see. Let's do the disassemble completely bit. Just so that we don't actually have to disassemble completely, because we will be able to see at this what we have. And here, not the same thing. It's got a loose barrel outside of the gun. So totally different from the Browning design, where the Browning had, it still have the slide, but where the Browning had your loose barrel inside, and the Colt 1911 have your loose little barrel inside that just clip in, this one does not. This one have a totally new barrel, which you have to unscrew from the gun. One thing I think why, as they said one part time, I know that's a saying for Mauser. Mauser armed the world with rifles. FN armed every revolutionary with pistols. There's a saying like that. So you can see we've got our barrel there, got our slide out to here, then you got this whole system, the whole recoil bit. Again, a totally different mechanism. Desert Eagle again also different. It's got 2 recoil springs, it's got 2 of everything. The recoil spring I think is beside the barrel. So again a totally different design. So although the game doesn't yet have my favorite gun designers or company, it does sort of have quite a good representation, at least with pistols, on the different types of pistol design. Because you've seen the Derringer, that is your top end almost of your muzzle loaders. You've got your percussion cap design. You've got your flintlocks with the other pistols, the older ones, which are all more or less again the same design, those. The basic parts of it. Then you get the Colt 1911, that's got your recoil spring on the outside of the barrel, sort of underneath it or over it, I can't remember, I think it's underneath. Then you've got your Russian one that the barrel is connected to the frame. You've got your Luger where the barrel is itself. No recoil spring near the barrel. Then you've got your Desert Eagle with 2 recoil springs. Sort of a double recoil spring. So here you've got all of that. Oh, pistols, rifles, shotguns, revolvers, submachine guns. We've got the machine guns. Who's the machine guns? Let's do all. We've got our different gun types. We don't have all the different models here, although we've got the components. We've got our... Oh, come on. Where's our firing pin? Short, very short, stubby firing pin here. Other ones has got much longer barrel, as I said. You can see the screw fitting there at the back. And the... Oh, come on. Maybe if I actually... And the main spring. Very nice. There we go. So we've got our recoil system totally different from our gun or our barrel. This one again, German engineering. The Germans do like their very, very... This one is more a clunky design for me. It's not as... It's nice, it's streamlined, but it's German, it's complicated. And again, a lot of machining needed to do this gun. You can see all the different surfaces here. Makes it annoying to actually oil everything, but it also showed the amount of detail needed to make these guns. Compare that to the Makarov we did earlier, and even the VIS. Much more parts. Not just the amount of parts, just the pure complexity of it. So much more things that can break. Yes, if it works, if German engineering works, it works very well. If it doesn't work, look at the Second World War. I mean, when German engineering worked, it worked, but the moment it entered Russia, it ran into environments that just wasn't designed for the German engineering. And that's not only the German engineering that didn't work in Russia. 765 mil. Oh, .32. This is the 765 is a .32 caliber. So again, a small pistol. Oh, come on. This is the same caliber, more or less, .765, sorry, 765 is a 32 round. I can't remember if the Browning and the Luger used the same round. I know the calibers are the same, but I'm not sure if the actual round is the same. But you can see totally different recoil system, totally different construction from the VIS, which is very similar to the Colt 1911, which is a Browning design. That's why we like the Colt 1911 so much. It's Browning. It's got some more elaborate features which later got included in some of the high powers when the patents ran out from Colt. Let's see, I mean, now why doesn't this thing want to work today? There we go. How long is this episode? This is gonna be a long episode, but if you want to hang out, what is it do? How long is it? That's long. We still, I hope, have the Desert Eagle available. So we can hopefully collect the Desert Eagle. We'll hope the Desert Eagle is still there. Well, here's the Mauser. The Glock is also a very new pistol. I'm not gonna go through all of them, but we've got the Mauser, which is a totally different one. So I think next time we'll just look at our Mauser. We'll look at our Glock. I mean, so you really got, because you've got the Glock, you've got that intricate safety system thing going for it. We've got our Mauser, which is a totally different kind of pistol. This time we looked at 3 of them. One looked like Browning, Russian, similar, wanting to be very similar to Browning, but again very simplified for Russian. We got our Luger, which is totally a different system. Again, we've got a loose barrel. Everything else is sort of fitted behind the barrel, where your VIS stuff, a lot of your it's more configured around the barrel. Again, you've got your recoil spring either under or over the barrels. In this case, under. It's really interesting. And Browning really simplified his design afterwards, and it got simplified quite a lot. But these are nice guns, they're small, and I don't know how accurate it is, but the game covered the different types of, so you can get a different feel of how different pistol designs in the world work. You can see similarities between some of them, the differences. What I don't think, as I say, I'm not sure if there is a Walter PPK or a Walter in PK in this game. Let's see, is there a Walter here? Let's see here. Winchester near Brown Bess. No, there is no Walter PK. We've got Colt, Glock. We've got Luger. Where is Makarov? So, and I'm not sure if they're missing a pistol design as well, but you really get a nice idea of how, different guns operate, the interesting ways of how they work. That's what I like about them. You can look at stuff. It would have been interesting if you could sort of get a introspective view of how the different parts operate. I know that would have made more design things you had to do, but where you can literally do an introspection of a cut through and see how does the bullets move through the gun, what does what part do. That would have been interesting as well. But again, that's more stuff you have to animate, but this isn't bad for a game. So thanks for watching. We have at least completed a bit more in our pistol range, got some of our other pistols up in the still need one more to get this one as master. Got some of the other guns at least a bit further along to where you get more stars. Gonna do the Mauser and the Desert Eagle next time. Should have done the Mauser and Luger together, but you don't always know what stuff you get, and I would have done the Colt 1911, the VIS together, and the Makarov together. The Desert Eagle doesn't really fit with either of these. The Mauser and I think the Luger almost fit together for me, but yeah. So thanks for watching. Please support the channel, please subscribe, please go and donate on patreon.com, and see you at my next game playthrough. Hope you enjoy all that crap I've been talking. Have fun.